Real people, real celebrities, real talk.
Join the Breakfast Club.
Blast off in your ear.
Weekday morning, 6 to 10.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We have our famous doctor, our favorite doctor.
Yes.
And some of the people's out there, only doctor. Dr. Oz.
Do we tell you Happy New Year?
Happy New Year,
In the medical world, are y'all still saying Happy New Year?
We still say that. Although, New Year is the busiest time for doctors because people have their kids coming home, their families come back, and they sick their parents say, what the heck is wrong with you, Dad? And drag them off to the hospital. So we get really busy over the holidays.
That's
Also,
crazy
people
you said
with
that.
alcohol poisoning.
Yes, and alcohol poisoning, that adds too. But they gain so much weight, like foie gras, they're stuffed.
Ooh, that's not
My
terrible.
homegirl took her father to the doctor yesterday just because she said he was under the weather. And that's funny you said that.
Yeah, that happens all the time, I'm telling you. They drag him in there because the kids care. They're paying him back.
You come
That's
home from
nice.
school, and then you see your parents be like, you don't look too well, Dad.
Exactly.
Or,
That's exactly what happened.
That's right.
And then listen, Dr. Oz, I'm about to take my vitamins. Is this necessary, all these vitamins?
I would
This
take
multivitamin pack?
I would take multivitamins. I wouldn't take mega doses of multivitamins. I take a pack just like this, by the way.
You do? Okay,
Yeah,
so that's fine.
But don't overpay. You just want to buy you want to buy the amount of vitamins that you could have gotten in food if you're eating the perfect diet.
Okay.
We know that literally 1 or 2% of Americans eat the perfect diet. So for the rest of us, the mortals,
Most of us.
it's an insurance policy. But you shouldn't be paying more than $1 or $2 a day for multivitamins, including all the omega-3 fats and everything else you need.
Okay.
What about my green drink? Because they said all my vitamins are in this green drink.
Have you
All
not
my
read the
vegetables.
Good Life magazine, sir?
No,
Thank
I
you,
haven't.
Charlamagne.
Not
You got
yet.
a 2015 plan for smoothies.
Tell us about this the green drink that people drink.
So I happen to like green drinks, but green drinks don't have the fats in them. They have the B vitamins, they have C vitamins, they have some of the things you need. But you need, in addition to a green drink, a source of the healthy fats you need, the omega-3 fats. You need vitamin D because vitamin D is not in those green drinks. And especially for folks of color, you don't. First of all, no one gets enough vitamin D in the wintertime. But especially if you have darker skin, the few little bitty rays that get through the cloud cover doesn't get through the skin.
Right.
So vitamin D levels plummet.
Okay.
And you always are talking about Oprah here. So when I was doing the Oprah show, we would check her vitamin D levels. It was a joke because it was always low.
You know what I love about the Good Life book? You have a bonus booklet in here, and it's a Doctor's Secrets for Great Skin. And I'm really big on great skin right now. I'm going to see a dermatologist. Do you recommend dermatologists?
Yeah, I do. I'm actually, today's show is all about skin and how you can take better care of it. It's
Especially right now when the
Yeah.
weather's so drying on your skin.
and people think they need the same skincare in the summer and the winter. They don't. It changes a lot. And even though you thought you were an oily skin when you were young, as you get older, you become a dry skin. So there's simple things, inexpensive things folks can do. A lot of them over the counter.
Yes.
Like the retinols are over the counter and they work well. The exfoliants like the
that was
alpha
actually in this
hydroxy acid.
magazine I was reading about.
Yeah, I love writing about it because it works. But I'll tell you, the most important thing, this is for men and women, stop what you're doing. The most important thing for your skin is to put some kind of moisturizer on every day, no matter what season it is. Buy one that you like a lot.
Yeah.
Slather it on first thing in the morning. You will preserve yourself, plus you'll glow all day long.
And I think you need to exfoliate and get off that dead skin also.
Yeah. Well, the exfoliants, for example, the alpha hydroxy acids, which basically fruit acids, they work really well. Look at that!
I keep facial
he's
moisturizer with me.
He does, and a good one. Very
My
good.
dermatologist recommended it,
Yeah, it works.
Now, question: there's a drug that people use, sometimes teens use for acne. And they said that they use this drug and it causes like a lot of stress. It causes a lot of problem, and they say maybe even suicide. But it's supposed to be one of the best things that they use for acne. What is that? And do you recommend it for kids out there?
Do you recommend suicidal drugs?
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't recommend suicidal drugs. There are, for people who have really bad acne, there are incredibly powerful medications that do work on the skin, but they do have that side effect. And I've had friends of mine whose kids have had significant acne issues, and they've had this debate. In general, for short-term use, if you're careful about what's going on in the kid's life, it's worth it because it's so devastating to have terrible acne, and you think about it all the time. When you look at someone with acne, you don't think about their acne, but when they have the acne, they're looking at themselves in the mirror all the time. It really bothers them.
Right.
So I would pay attention to that. But it's the new year. It's time for new resolutions. People's self-image becomes a big part of it. That's why we have, for example, that the Total 10 Rapid Weight Loss Plan. But we have it for skin, and we have it for sleep, and we have it for pain. The things that are holding you back from being the person you could be are the ones we want to try to address. And I don't want people feeling self-conscious about it anymore. And we actually had 2.5 million people on the Total 10 plan. It's a lot of folks, and they lose weight fast, they look better, they sleep better, they feel better, and there's no fees, no meetings. It's a very straightforward approach, but you got to take the first step yourself. And if you can do that, I'll hold your hand and lead you the rest of the way. But you'll lose 10 pounds in a couple of weeks, and you feel like $1 million for the rest of.
Tell them how can we do that?
Well, if you want to lose weight, let's just get to the basics.
Yeah,
Stop
because
eating.
right now everybody is trying to lose weight. You know, we all gained a lot of weight over the
They
holidays.
got them fake resolutions. They clog up
Everybody's
the
in
gym.
the
Exactly.
gym.
The
right.
gym
Till
doesn't
February.
For the first couple
till
weeks.
February. The gym doesn't work, by the way. Unfortunately, I wish it did. But people don't lose weight at the gym. They lose weight by eating differently.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you're gonna go to the gym, do it to look better and to keep your weight down, but don't do it to lose the weight. In fact, women actually gain a little weight when they go to the gym.
Because you get more muscle.
Yeah, exactly. And your appetite goes up, and you think I worked out for half an hour this morning, so I don't have to walk around today.
I do that too because I go to the gym and then I get really hungry after. Then I go home and eat some M&Ms or
Right.
something.
Then you sit on the couch. Right. Or they're drinking one of those sports
starving.
beverages while you're working out. You're gaining weight while you're working out.
that's
There's so
sugar.
much sugar. Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
So here's what you're gonna do. If you and again, it's all on DrOz.com. Just download it and share it with your friends because they've got meal plans and recipes and shopping lists. Is simple to do and inexpensive. First off, you're gonna start your morning off with protein smoothies. So you can have the green drink. I happen to like that too, but you need to get about 10 grams of protein into your breakfast. It's cheap. If you guys wheat protein or egg protein. But make sure that you've got those 10 grams in a smoothie. You can put, let's say, a little soy milk or hemp milk.
About
You like
almond
hemp
milk?
No, I like soy milk. Almond soy milk.
All right. So I happen to like almond milk a lot.
I like
to
almond
the
vanilla
point.
milk. It's real good.
But I like the
Hemp
woodiness
milk
of the
is
hemp
too
milk.
spermy.
Too spermy?
Yeah, it reminds me of sperm.
I knew it was
Why
coming.
does it? How do you know?
I knew it
Never
was
mind.
coming.
I have sperm. I shoot
So
it
you
all the time.
tasted it?
Never tasted it. I'm talking about the texture. Shut up.
All right,
Here we go
ahead,
again.
Dr. Asal.
Here we go. You see what I'm talking about now. All right. So you want that, and then and then little berries, and that'll usually make you. And you half a banana. I don't want too much of the fruits because they actually have a lot of sugar in them.
Right.
So half the banana, and they'll get you going in the morning. Then your snacks throughout the day, you could have things like nuts. So by soaking the nuts, you germinate them. So they, but you can have them dry as well. And don't think about gaining weight with nuts because you won't. You will lose weight with nuts. That in every trial ever done, it's been shown because you're getting all the nutrients from what's going to become a tree, the nut, right? The tree nut, not peanuts, tree nuts, and those nuts will therefore satiate you in a unique way. But the 70% cocoa or better chocolates will get you there, and the foundation besides the snacks of the plan is a vegetable broth. You can buy it in the store in those little cartons, or make it yourself. In fact, you can eat as many low starchy vegetables as you want, but that vegetable broth has to replace the other stuff you put in your body.
Right.
Make that your snack, your go-to beverage. It's hearty enough to keep you full. You can warm it up, put it in the thermos if you desire. But anything of that along those lines, you can do every single day and not think about it, automate it, will allow you to lose weight.
Can I
can
do my
totally see
instant
why
oatmeal
people-
in the morning?
I like oatmeal, but there's not enough protein unless you you know what it was called, the Roman oatmeal. They would put bits of turkey bacon or things like that in the oatmeal.
Yuck.
I don't know about
It actually is an interesting taste. I don't mind it, but I think it's just easier to make the smoothie. Plus, it's cheap and it's fast, so people don't have time. Listen, eating out for breakfast is also a mistake because you're basically having dessert for breakfast, right? It's all sweet stuff, donuts and
I never
bagels and
understood why
stuff.
people do that. Donuts, bagels
Waffles.
with strawberry cream
Yeah.
cheese, waffles with all that syrup.
I like it.
What about egg whites and oatmeal?
Fantastic. So each egg has 1 gram of protein. So you have to have like 3 eggs to make it happen. But egg whites are fantastic. In fact, you don't need egg whites. Just have regular eggs. The biotin is in the yellow part. That's the B vitamin that you want for your skin and to look your best and feel your best. It's good for your hair and your nails. Egg whites are unnecessary. Have the regular egg with the
regular
yolk.
eggs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I learned that too because I used to always do egg whites. Now I just have the regular egg.
Yeah, it doesn't affect your cholesterol that much, and for the average person, it's an irrelevant
And
issue.
it tastes better.
Now,
Yeah.
now you said all that. Now what about dinner? So there's no dinner. So the vegetable broth is your dinner?
No, I don't want you to starve. The
Okay,
most important thing
let's keep
about the
going.
Total 10 Rapid Weight Loss Plan is not to be hungry, because if you're hungry, it won't work. Yeah, because listen, at its very core, what this program does, and again, it's been based on 2.5 million people have been downloading and using it, so it's pretty well-honed machine, well worked through. The foundation is to take down inflammation in the body. When your body's inflamed, it panics, and in order to protect itself, it holds on the fat.
Right.
So to let the fat go, you got to change your hormones, and foods like high protein in the breakfast and regular meals throughout the day will do that naturally. For dinner, you want to have any of those unlimited starchy, low starch vegetables as you want, and then you want about the palm size of protein. And the protein can come in just about any source you want. I think poultry is the best. Fish works as well. You can have vegetarian sources if you desire, but make sure you have that balance. And then you want some fats with it. Olive oil works in a salad, flaxseed oil on top of it. You can have fish because it's got its natural fats in it. So that becomes your classic dinner. And then here's the other really important thing, and I learned this actually from a bunch of bodybuilders. No food between 8 p.m. and 8 a.m. You can eat a lot of calories.
Yeah, I've heard
Outside
that.
of-
But that's
And I read
hard
that in
to
the
do.
magazine.
I know,
too.
and if you have to shorten it down so it's only 10 hours, it's fine. But you want to give yourself, if you can, 10 hours of time, 8 of it sleeping, so 2 extra hours, where your body is not forced to digest food. That way the the hormones can reset themselves back to baseline. Whatever mistakes you made yesterday go away and you're back in groove again. You can actually eat more calories than you would think in the remaining part of the day. Just give your body a chance to rest so that it can attack the calories and you put them back in again.
Now, you talk about rest a lot. You say turn off stress so you can sleep.
Yeah.
How do you turn off your stress?
Turn off your phone.
And you say pill-free.
Pill-free. Well, pills aren't going to work long-term, so you shouldn't rely on those.
Gotcha.
So it's not stress. It's the response to stress that matters, right?
Now, seriously, what about masturbation? Because we always say
works.
masturbation. Okay.
It works.
All right.
Listen, you ought to have intimacy twice a week if you're with someone else, or 4 times a week if you're not. So you can get it any way you want, and that is a stress relief. And guys actually are going to crave that. All joking aside, but I do think it's important for you to develop your own stress tools. So here's what you need to think. First off, light is toxic. Light is stressful. Light wakes you up. Light turns off melatonin. It does all kinds of stuff. So the last hour before you go to bed at night, you need to change the lights in your home, in your room. They now have these LED lights. They're very inexpensive, and they actually don't emit any of those light rays, the bright blue rays that keep you awake. So the room is still light like this studio is, and you can read and do other things, but you just don't get that light rate. And the other thing is using an iPad or e-reader or iPhone right before you go to bed is really toxic. It throws away your brain's natural ability to glide you into sleep.
Yes.
And we all sleep with the phone right next to us.
That's also a big mistake. There's actually a study done in Sweden looking at this. You don't want the phone within 5 feet of your head. Just put the phone 5 feet. You can still have the alarm on, just 5 feet away from you because it inhibits some of the deeper sleep that you naturally want to get. You want to have those 5 cycles of sleep every night. It takes about 7.5 hours to get that. So don't do things that mess with it.
Why is it inhibiting in sleep? Because it's texting and stuff going off?
No, it's continually searching for messages. So it's always emitting
Radiation,
Wow.
EMF. So that actually affects some of the natural, because your brain is an electrical organ, and it's working through its electrical pathways to get into the deeper levels of sleep, and you don't want to impact on that.
Let's talk about that, because let's talk about mental health for a second. I've been studying neurobics, and I feel like the smartphones are making us dumb nowadays.
I think you're right.
All of the social media and just constantly being on your phone.
Well, think about it. We went from reading books to watching movies about books to reading shorter books than magazine articles, and now we're down to the point we read tweets. And
Right.
I never understand why would I want to read the tweet from the Times Magazine reporter? Why wouldn't I just read the article they would write,
Gotcha.
or write a summary of them? I think taking us in a direction where we are unable to focus for the periods of time to figure out what's really meaningful in life. Like I was with a very, very smart friend of mine, and I said, "What newspapers do you read?" That's a classic smart person question, right? And I read the New York Times, the Daily News, the Post is my favorite, whatever it's going to be. He says, "I don't read any papers." This guy, by the way, is a magazine editor.
Jesus Christ.
He says he doesn't read any newspapers. I said, "Why not?" He says, "Because it comes in such bite-sized chunks that are usually not well thought through, that I don't feel like I learned that much."
Right.
So I said, "What do you do?" He says, "I read books." So I don't have time to read books. He says, "Here's what you do. Read the first couple of chapters of a book. You'll learn more about important ideas by people who spent years of their life trying to tell you how to tell the
Yes.
idea. And you won't have your time wasted by other things."
Speaking of phones,
Who's that?
It's for you.
Butt.
Yeah.
Oprah.
Yeah. It's Oprah. Oprah, I'll call you right back.
You got Oprah's name as Butt in your phone?
No.
Wow, Dr. Oz. I can see why people would think y'all was sleeping together, though. You told her that she
Stop
need
it.
vitamin D and nuts.
This is what I'm worried about.
Now, let me ask you, Dr. Oz, you know I always get all these Ask Ye questions, so I'm going to ask you this, and you tell me if this is safe for this person, okay?
Uh-oh.
He said, "Yeah, I can't stop smashing my cousin." That means sleeping with.
Having sex with.
Thank
Okay.
you for translating that.
Fornicating. Penetration.
I don't know if you knew that.
Dr.
I did not know that, by
Smash.
the way.
I know last time we taught you cuffing season.
Yeah, cuffing season.
We
I
caught
didn't
you
know.
cuffing season. That's
That's right.
He
Second
said-
language. English is a second language for me. So, okay.
Okay, so he said, "I can't stop smashing my cousin. We hooked up at a young age, and now in our 20s, she still wants it. No matter how much I want to stop, I always give it to her. Help me." Now, what
Well-
advice would you give that person?
If you're more than a first cousin away, it's not a big problem.
Okay, so second cousin.
Yeah.
It's fine to smash.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny? Because I knew that.
Yeah.
How did you know that?
'Cause you
I'm from
smashed
the
your-
country.
It's,
Third cousins.
Nasty,
Yeah, it's fine.
It's all good.
digger.
Because
Oh,
they say
God.
first cousins, you might end up with a kid with like Down syndrome or something.
well, it's not that. So every family has genetic strengths and weaknesses. And so the reason we naturally crave people who are not so like us is because you just have to mix the gene pool up a little bit, so that if I have one gene for, let's say, hemophilia, which is a classic example where you bleed a lot if you cut yourself, and I don't want to marry a cousin who has the same hemophilia gene, because the chance of our child having both those genes is much higher.
Okay.
But for the vast majority of problems, that it's not an issue. But that's why girls, don't like their father's smell. Their pheromones will actually repel their daughters because they're not supposed to be together.
Right.
And so my daughters hate my smell.
Well, maybe you just smelled.
My wife doesn't mind my smell. My wife says she likes the smell.
My daughter loves how it smells. She always says that.
Yeah, how old is she?
6.
Yeah, you wait.
Okay.
By the time she's 12, the young women become very attuned to smell. And every time I work out, they go, "Oh, you smell." Whereas my wife
my
says,
daughter says that to me all the time.
"Yeah."
Yeah, my dad stinks.
Yeah, so it's a natural good thing that you don't like your parents' smell. It forces you to look outside, and women will crave usually men who smell very different from their relatives.
Right.
So it forces you to find genes that are very different from yours. It's one of the ways we intermarry.
I like guys that smell like marijuana.
Ooh,
Now, a lot of girls like that marijuana smell.
Now, here's one more.
Kush.
it's called the Kush.
Kush.
Or it's a grade of weed called Kush.
I'm learning stuff all the time.
No,
You never heard of
He
Kush?
seems more like
No.
a sour diesel kind of guy.
Yeah, you probably would
All
like
right,
the
so-
diesel.
I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. There are different grades of marijuana.
Thank
Now-
goodness you're here.
Yeah.
Dr. Oz,
appreciate
one
it.
more question for Ask Ye. He said, now this is a common problem. I get this question all the time. I've been with my girl for a little over 2 years, and she's gotten on the bigger side, and I'm embarrassed to be seen with her.
Bigger means fat.
How can I tell her to lose weight without hurting
Old
her
Oprah.
feelings? What's a great way to tell somebody they
guy's
need to
stupid.
lose weight without hurting
You think
her
he's
feelings?
smashing his girlfriend? Is that how you
Not
There you go.
anymore.
That was
There
a
you
good way to
go,
use
Dr.
it.
Oz.
That was a good way
I want to
use it.
conjugate it. This is,
There you
this is
go.
how you learn. You conjugate. Use the word in a sentence.
Most guys smash their girlfriends. Yes.
Well, not once they get on the bigger side. He's probably not attracted to her.
He's
So
not
is he
attractive.
asking what to do for her or how to tell
How
her?
can he tell her that she needs to lose weight? A lot of people want to tell their person
Yeah.
that
So
got
I think the
big.
most important thing, first of all, she knows she needs to lose weight. Him telling her that just makes it so painful that it's going to reduce her self-esteem and make her, in order to comfort herself, eat more food. So that's not the way to go. The best thing for him to do is to go on a diet himself and to be super attentive about what he's
I thought you
eating.
said die. I was like, wow.
No, just die. No, so she's going to tell him to die and no more smashing for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cupping season all over again.
Exactly. No, what he needs to do is to say, hey, listen, I'm going on a program. I'm going to make myself look better, feel better. So you want to come along for the ride? And then let them do it together. It is the most effective way to pull along. That's not just for your spouse or your loved ones. It's for your kids.
Right.
If you want them to be healthier yourself. They'll come for the ride. Listen, we hang around with people who are unhealthy.
It makes us unhealthy.
Yeah, it makes everything unhappy, and we all go along the same pathway. And we enable each other to do the wrong things. If we do things that are good for us, the others come along. Listen, the reason our brains are so large are not because we need to go hunting. We can go hunt with a reptile-sized peanut brain. We need a large brain in order to develop a prefrontal cortex, that big part of our brain that has empathy towards each other, where I can look you in the eyes and say, you know what, I get it. I'm here for you. We can make this happen. And what we crave most in life is authentic intimacy. That's before the smashing, by the way.
Yes.
Right? So if we can do that
when you're running game.
and nudge each other by leading each other along, it works better. So don't tell them what to do. Do it with them.
Okay.
Now, Dr. Oz, question.
Yes.
Now, I'm a genius at having kids.
Oh,
I have
congratulations.
4 of them. Have no problem.
That just means he don't wear condoms. Dr.
Yes, I
Oz.
like it.
But
It
with his
smashes
wife,
a lot
no,
in
he
music
doesn't.
candles.
Without condoms.
Right. Now, Dr.
Yes.
Oz, now...
What if you say he was smashed? What does that mean?
I mean that a guy had sex with another
Does
guy.
it mean being drunk?
No.
No, not any. I mean, yeah, technically. Oh, we say wasted.
We said wasted,
Yeah.
right.
You don't use. Okay.
Like that guy
Uh-oh. He
smashed
said-
Or
Charlamagne
turned.
means a guy...
Or turn.
Well, he was
That
wasted.
guy got wasted and smashed Charlamagne.
There you go. That's
right.
a good-
Charlamagne
that's
got wasted and a guy smashed him.
Got
There
it.
you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
Charlamagne was drunk and a guy
can use it
penetrated
like that.
his anus.
All right, now,
Nice
Dr.
medical
Oz,
terms.
Is it true that women can only get pregnant 2 days a month?
When you're
No, it's
ovulating?
probably about 4 days a month.
4 days, okay.
Yeah, but let me say it differently. It's true that women can only actually have the sperm hit the egg twice a month. However, 2 days a month. However, the sperm can live inside the woman for a while. And you don't know. Yes, right? Because the sperm goes. So here's the thing 80% of the sperm can't fertilize.
Okay.
80% of the sperm is there to block other sperm from getting in. That's why we think women probably, when they would go in the heat, you know, and this is true for some types of primates, they'll have sex with multiple partners, but only the first guy gets to inseminate because most of the sperm is defending against other sperm competing with the sperm they got
like
in there
running
first.
a train.
Like a train, right.
Right.
So the first sperm is the fastest sperm. That's the male sperm. It rushes up there. But it's not very durable, not very strong. So that first sperm gets up there. If it fertilizes the egg, because you happen to ovulate at that very moment, you're good to go. You have a male. If you're not, next sperm are the female sperm. They're slower, but they're like a tortoise. They sort of make their way up
Ooh,
there.
you stop it, you chauvinist you.
Yes, and they have, but they hang out there. They live a lot longer.
Right.
That's why if you, there is some merit probably to when you have sex affecting male versus female if guys who don't have sex with a woman just when she's ovulating are going to have females more often. And that's why like fighter pilots have more female offspring because they're only home certain amounts of time. Then outside of that period, you're not fertile. So I would say for most women, there's a 4-day period of caution, but it's true it's only a few days when they're really at risk.
And once that
loss.
sperm hits the air, it's no good anymore. You know, they always say if the sperm
Is that
hits
true? Because a
Yeah.
lot of girls do the turkey baster technique where like when the sperm is like on their stomach or something, they'll take the turkey baster, put it in there, and squirt it back up.
a lot of women do that.
Yeah,
really?
I
What are
think
you talking about, you
the sperm
freak?
that's on the inside of that glop of fluid is still alive. On the outside, it's not very resilient. And women, by the way, based on the acidity and their material inside of their vagina, they'll allow different types of sperm to prosper more than others. But
Hold on, Doctor.
the reason orgasm is important is because orgasm creates a sucking effect. So because the uterine walls contract and they actually push the sperm up into the up towards where the eggs are. So that's why having an orgasm probably is good for fertilization.
So I want to be clear on this. If I shoot off on a girl's stomach or shoot off in her face, the sperm's dead.
No, only the stuff on the outside of the droplet. The stuff on the inside of the droplet is still fine.
I'm confused.
There's a droplet, right? When that happens, there's a CC. And,
Got you.
Not an ounce, but a little bit of stuff in the droplet.
Okay.
The stuff on the inside that's still moist, the sperm is still alive there.
So the top part of the droplet, but what's inside the droplet is fine. But
Oh.
the outside
Here, let me
of
draw
it
you a
that hits
picture.
the air.
No, no.
Here, turn
break it
over.
down
I'll
for
show
me.
you. Here.
All right, so listen, we were talking about acne earlier. Is it true that acne is a sign that you're not getting sex?
No, it's not true.
Okay.
Acne is a sign that your
This
hormones
guy here.
are in disarray. And
Sometimes I think he's smart, Doctor. Sometimes I don't know.
You've never heard that?
No,
No, that's a
It
joke.
says sex clears your skin up.
yeah, sex clears your skin up. Maybe that may be true. You have more sex if you have clear skin, but I don't know if it's correlated.
More
medically.
people want to have sex with you if you have clear skin.
Can we
Doctor,
talk
I-
about this clear skin thing? Because a lot of people think I'm bleaching because I've been going to see a dermatologist.
You are.
Well, your skin's lighter.
I'm not bleaching my skin at all. But
We don't believe him.
the question I want to know is, could you tell them some of the benefits that can make your skin brighter, like things that can make your skin brighter?
Most important thing to make your skin brighter is to exfoliate.
Absolutely.
So alpha hydroxy acid, which is again
I do that twice a
inexpensive.
day, by the way.
Good, thank you.
Yes.
So you have to build up to that. You can't do it twice a day from the get go.
I exfoliate once. I use a microfoliant once a day. Very
Good. All right.
gentle.
So and most people can even do it 2 or 3 times a week and still be okay. But once a day is pretty reasonable. Twice a day if you're really able to do it, it'd be fab. Then I like the retinols, and you can use low dose retinols. They're available in pharmacies.
And you said that's very important in the winter, especially to use retinol.
Well, the retinols are important all year round. The moisturizer is super important in the winter. And a lot of people, especially, they use foundation thinking they can be protected. You're better off with CC creams and things like that that have a bit more of a substance to them.
I'm using a retinol. I'm using a Desine
And how often you use it?
twice a day.
You do?
Oh, once
That's
a
a
day?
lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I know, maybe 3 times a week. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think every other day. You be careful.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
because,
think it's 3 times a week.
yeah, I think every other day is probably the most people want to use that. But it rejuvenates the skin. And then the most important thing besides all those is what you eat. Because if you eat the
Yes.
right kinds of food, like wheat germ. Wheat germ has vitamin E in it. Actually, we're talking about that again on the show today. So if you have wheat germ and make it part of your diet, you're giving your skin the vitamin E that it needs, and you're giving it healthy fats. And those fats permeate the skin, make it a little bit fluffier, so the wrinkles aren't as visible, and it becomes a bit more resilient. That's why we care about beauty. The fundamental reason that beauty is so important to us, the reason I put beauty pictures in the Good Life magazine, is because people look at them. Now, why do they look at them? Because we iconically equate beauty to health.
Absolutely.
If your outside is pretty, your inside is healthy.
Right.
So we can look at a woman, if you're a guy, and then within a microsecond say that woman is a beautiful woman, and I'm not judging her skin color or her facial features. It's actually her skin texture
glow.
that's the most important, her glow. And if she's glowing, it means she's fertile.
Right.
Which is
Gotcha.
a natural attractant to a male. Females do the same thing for guys.
What about carrot juice?
Carrot juice is great. Makes you a little bit yellowish. It does. But I
There
like
it
carrot
is.
juice a
There
lot.
you go.
There's the reason.
Yeah, he's fluorescing. He's fluorescing over
glowing.
here.
Now, Dr. Oz, question. Now, the next word we're going to teach you today is hater. Do you know what a hater is?
No, what's a hater?
Those,
Hater
those
is-
people that say that you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, the haters.
There's
Yeah,
people
the-
out there that say you don't know.
Yes.
They did a
Doctors-
study. What was that study about? And how do you
I
feel
think
about that?
Doctor
Look, these
said that
guys-
half of what you talk about is not
Yeah,
true.
not just me. They're talking about. They said half of what all doctors on television are talking about isn't true. Listen, the authors have already sort of pulled back and said we didn't mean the way for that to sound the way it sounded, or that it was interpreted. The fact of the matter is, it's not just doctors on television; it's doctors in their offices. Only about half of what we say is proven. I'll give you an example. These are examples they had actually in this study they did. They said, okay, if you sneeze into the crook of your elbow, does that help reduce the flu? If you get sleep, does it reduce the flu? Now, I say both those things. In fact, the national organizations say that too, CDC and the like. It turns out there's no real data to prove that. it's common sense.
Right.
We haven't done trials on parachutes either. We never proved parachutes work, but who the heck's going to jump out of a plane without a parachute?
Right.
Who the hell
would jump out of a plane? That's what I used to always
Exactly.
do.
I think that too.
Well, if you have to.
Well, I've done it one time. It was stupid. Yeah, but go ahead.
So it turns out that what you are forced to do as a healer is give people advice, even though you don't have all the data available.
Some of it's common sense.
Some of it's common sense. Some of it you just don't know.
Some
It's
of it's
based on.
proven,
Some of it's
just-
from alternative approaches to healing, things they do in China or India. Centuries-old traditions that we just never proved because no one invested the money to prove them. Who's going to spend $10 million proving vitamin C helps with the cold? No one, because you can't patent it. You can't make your money back. So the reality is, all of us in medicine have to take chances giving advice. We try to be common sensible about it.
Yeah.
And what the real plea to your listeners, my viewers, and everybody else is be thoughtful about it. Recognize that we don't have a monopoly on good judgment. You should apply these ideas to your own life, and then what works, keep, and tell your friends about. What doesn't work, don't.
Gotcha.
Don't take it as gospel all the time, because not all this stuff is as solid as you think.
Now, I have one last question, because my friends and I had a discussion about this, and it was about do men like when you insert your finger in their butt?
Yeah.
Now, I know that there's a lot of
What?
No, this was a real discussion. Two of my friends said they do it to guys all the time and they love it, and then one of my friends and myself said we've never tried that. Is that something that you recommend a woman try for a man, and do most men like that?
All right, so you know what the G-spot is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there actually is a G-spot. It's in the front wall of the vagina.
We're
'Cause
talking
men are
vaginas and men's
scared
anuses right
No,
now.
I'm going to shift
Men are scared to
gears.
admit
Stay
they
with me.
like
Hold
it.
on for a second here. So the G-spot is an area that's very rich in nerves and can be stimulated, and that's why some forms of intercourse are more stimulatory than others, because it touches that part. Missionary classically, you touch that part of the female anatomy, so it's stimulating to them.
Depending on the size of your penis.
Depending on the size of the penis,
Yes.
and its angle and everything else. Now, men also have a G-spot. It's on their prostate,
Okay.
Which is up your ass.
which is up your ass. So, in theory, there might be opportunities to stimulate a man by doing this, but I would probably ask him first.
Okay.
Because
Well, no,
because
but Dr. Oz, I don't know about that, because if you ask a guy, he might say no. But they said, now the theory is, and I agree with this, some guys don't want to say yes if you ask them. They rather you just do it and not have that discussion.
Don't you just go touching my prostate without my
I
permission.
think the average guy, see, that the
ask
sphincter
me.
is tight enough there that it's uncomfortable getting in.
Hopefully.
But people who have anal sex, that's one of the stimulus. That's how they get stimulated. So it does work. So anatomically speaking, it makes sense.
Okay.
But I don't think it would be right on a radio show to advise women to do that. We'll get hate mail from all over the area.
Goodness
But it's
gracious.
okay for a man if he likes it. It doesn't mean anything weird.
No, not at all. Not at all. It actually means he knows his anatomy.
All right, Envy asked me to ask that.
I
Thank you
did
very
not,
much.
you liar.
I got one more question for Dr.
Yes.
Oz. Do you ever want to tell these guys that say you don't know what you're talking about just to get off your dick sometimes? They're
No.
probably just mad you getting this money and you got Oprah on speed dial.
The reality is health matters, and if people didn't fight about it, it would be a disservice to all of us. I actually
go.
I applaud people for raising the issue, because it makes all of us talk about things that count. And I'd rather spend time talking about what I should be talking about, and and fighting the battle when it needs to be fought, which is in people's homes, because they need to hear about these things.
Gotcha.
So I'm fine with it.
I think you do a great job, sir.
You're very kind.
Yes, we
I've
love
actually,
Dr.
I've
Oz.
actually done things that you said to do, and they've worked
And it
for me,
works.
so I don't know what they're talking about.
God bless you.
My guy.
Stay well.
Dr.
Take care.
Oz, The Good Life. Make sure you pick it up at your local newsstand, and we appreciate you joining us, Dr.
Thank you.
Oz.
And just one thing,
Yes,
all
sir.
week long, we're talking about being a total 10, being the best you can be. Take advantage of the Total 10 Rapid Weight Loss Plan. It's simple, it's straightforward, it's free. There's no meetings, and it's all on DrOz.com as well. Check it out. Or the show's at 2 o'clock on Fox.
All right. Dr. Oz is the Breakfast Club. Good morning.